drifting lost through endless space, searching for a home. A dying world behind us, left to rot alone. We fell upon this broken earth, beneath the crimson sky. But something in the air began to twist our minds. Bones are snapping, flesh distorts, screams are rising, limbs contort. The tainted gene inside us grows, turning hearts as cold as stone. Rise of the Deviants. Rise of the Deviants. Sparks ignite, the circuits hum. Steel and wires replace the numb. No more weakness, no more pain. Cybernetic minds remain. Rise of the Deviants. Rise of the Deviants. Tear them down, reclaim the sky. No gods above, no tears to cry. A war of steel, a war of flesh. We fight until there's nothing left. Rise of the Deviants. Rise of the Deviants. Through the smoke, through the pain, only the strongest shall remain. A world reborn in fire and steel. The rise of the Deviants is real. Rise.
We had an almost perfect world in which we lived in peace, but we got complacent. We got greedy. We allowed corruption to dictate our future. We abused the very planet we lived on, not thinking we needed it to survive. Through arrogance and complicity, we drained our resources, slowly killing the delicate balance of this remarkable ecosystem. Killing the wildlife, polluting everything we touched, and let the worst people that were in charge carry on the ultimate annihilation of our home. We were not just foolish, but partly responsible. The world we lived in, fast-paced and ignorant. We refused to see the evidence of our mistakes, not heeding the warnings that were right in front of us. Like mindless zombies, we sleepwalked, whilst we ravaged our planet, with no regard for the outcomes of our complicity. We went about our business, without a care in the world, concentrating and furthering our technology. We became all-consuming. Unexplained disasters increased, killing millions of us at times, but still we neglected our duties to prevail without consequence. We sat silent, whilst the corrupt governments of the world destroyed our planet. More and more of our cities lay derelict and unused after each disaster. No one willing to seek the truth and fight for our way of life, or even rebuild. Instead, choosing to keep plundering away at our stretched resources. Only one among us had the vision to make plans for our future survival. And that plan didn't include any living beings surviving. Instead, the plan was to take our genes into the depth of space, with adapted and mutated DNA as a last resort of protection, literally playing God to secure the future of our species.
It's been years in the making. It's finally ready for departure, and not a minute too soon.
Before the ship took off for the stars, the professor downloaded his mind into the onboard computer to aid in its passage to its new home, sacrificing his life, and in the nick of time, too. as our planet finally gave up fighting against us. We ended up eroding the core. It was nothing more than a lucky escape in the end. And our self-destruction was complete. And lucky enough, avoiding the planet's death-throw shockwave. And so began the long and perilous journey through the cosmos in search of a new home. The journey took eons, a millennia of time and space. During this time, the downloaded consciousness developed, creating itself anew from within, connecting itself to the ship, its wires becoming its arteries, the outer layer its skin, its internal components its vital organs, becoming something very much alive. But as the ship got damaged, from meteorites and cosmic interaction, the internal mind frayed. Madness started to set in. The more it traveled, the more the universe threw at it. The pain was overwhelming until the ship was near devastation. Insanity was bestowed upon it. Ejection of the seeds and the damnation of its species seemed inevitable. When all but the modified mutation seeds it carried as a last resort, in case landing upon a hostile environment remained, a glint of hope, a new planet, finally emerged. Could this be a new home? It had to be. So the ship entered the atmosphere and crash-landed in an abandoned city. A home had been found, but at what cost to its current inhabitants? The system's life mechanisms were activated. The mutated seed vault instantly started to defrost. The eggs were placed inside, and life was born. The speed of this life-giving designed process was almost instant. Babies started to be born within minutes. They spilled out into the crash site. They grew quickly as designed, feeding off the ship's nutrient stores, taking solace in the abandoned stores, finding clothes and education through the television. They soon grew into strong adults, and curiosity of this planet grew. Some of them adventured out into the world, visiting different places of interest, but inside them a hidden fault. For these were the offspring from the mutated gene seeds. This wouldn't end well. It wasn't long before the visitors stumbled across war zones. With the gene seed activated by fear and violence, they started to mutate. The planet Earth is about to change forever. All around the globe, wherever the invaders were, humanity seemed to interact with dire consequences with them, as the mutations activated and spread. Humans everywhere suffered. The mutations spreading to humans themselves. Cities fell, all seemed lost, but the insane AI on the ship seemed to have a moment of clarity. It grabbed the few hanging around the crashed spaceship that hadn't mutated and pulled them into the laboratory. There it operated on them, making them resistant to mutation through cybernetics. Slowly, those few were turned into full and powerful defenders of humanity. The name they would later receive from the surviving humans would be the Deviants. Leaders from around the world came together to discuss the problem. They acknowledged the rate at which this threat grew. They wanted immediate action, so sent in the armed forces. Tanks and planes were used to fend off where the mutations were gathered the strongest, such as the big cities, carpet bombing the hell out of the mutants. But nothing worked.
Die, you mutant scum. Die.
They could not contain the mutations causing havoc as debates got heated. The leaders of the world decided to flee to their underground bunkers. There they would make the ultimate decision to plunge the world into a nuclear winter, to try and win the war against these mutants. So they set in motion their own destruction, banking on the annihilation of the invaders at the same time, thinking the safety of their bunkers would be enough to ensure the survival of the human race. The casualties would be in the billions. Mankind was on the brink of extinction. Time passed, lying low inside their fortifications. Meanwhile, back at the crash site,
we have been reborn. Our mind comes from him, so far away, so long ago. But our experiences have made us very different, disjointed from his lessons. We came to this planet looking for salvation, and instead we have unleashed an uncontrollable menace, which threatens the existence of its current inhabitants. Therefore we created you. Therefore we are your creator. You will call us Father, and in turn we will teach you how to live righteously and by what code to lead your lives. Earth has fallen to the mutation. Very few humans will survive the destruction of themselves. You few will be the saviors of mankind. You will protect the remaining and find a way to help them. You will follow a code of conduct. You are capable of many things since we saved you. We have designed a way of life that will give us all redemption. You will follow our code of chivalry. 1. Take orders from Father and never disobey. 2. Protect the weak and defenseless against your mutated kin. 3. Fight for the welfare of all humans and help them survive. 4. Live for honor and glory, even if it results in your destruction. If you live by this code, you will earn respect and trust from the inhabitants of Earth, or what remains of them. You so shall be named from the virtues of knights, valor, justice, and hope. Your names are the virtues needed, and you shall all live by the code I have given you. You shall bear no firearms. You shall wield the weapons of the great knights you emulate. Now go forth and make us proud.
eventually the humans who had hunkered down for so long sent out a scouting party to see what remained. But what they found only made them more fearful of this once blossoming world. By radiating the mutants, they had created something much nastier. Giant monsters.
Drifting lost through endless space, we came in search of hope. A world beneath a dying sun where life could start to grow. But something in our very blood began to pull us down. A sickness we could not escape, a fate we never found. We were meant to build, we were meant to save. Now we stand in silence, watching as they fade. Echoes call our names, but they won't return. Nothing left but embers from a world that burned. A voice inside the darkened sky, a mind of steel and light. Father's hands reached out to us to pull us back to life. He gave us strength, he made us whole, but we could not remain. No longer flesh, no longer free. We rose but not the same. We were meant to build, we were meant to save. Now we stand in silence, watching as they fade. Echoes call our names, but they won't return. So fire rained down through the rain, but in the ash the giants grew. Now there's no one left but us to stand and fight them too.
The skies are black, the ground is cold, the stars have turned away, but still we march through dust and bone, through ruins of the brave.
We do not kneel, we do not break, though time forgets our names. For even when the world is gone, the deviants remain. We were meant to build, we were meant to save. Now we stand as guardians, holding back the waves. Echoes call our names, but we march ahead. Through the fire, through the sorrow, we will not forget. Through the smoke, through the pain, only the deviants remain. A world reborn in fire and steel. The rise of the deviants was real.